Hey, welcome to the Hennasooq channel. My name is Khadija. I'm a leading henna hair color expert, Ayurvedic hair care specialist, and I do gorgeous henna and jaguar body art as well. And today I'm going to be reacting to 3 videos that I have never seen before, but these were suggested to me and I'm just going to go on the fly. We're just going to watch them together and we're going to see the outcome of these, because one is with someone using henna hair dye for the very first time. Someone else is using black henna hair dye, and then James Charles is going to be using henna as a lip stain. So let's get into it.
Hello darlings, today I'm going to show you how I dyed my hair with henna for the first time, and this is the final color I got. If you'd like to see the process and the types of henna that I used, keep on watching. If you haven't seen already, I made a hair dyeing video using chemical hair dyes, and I actually had a pretty severe reaction after I filmed the video. I continued using the conditioner that they give you in the box, and I kept using that once a week. I didn't quite put 2 and 2 together, but the chemicals that were in the hair dye were also in the conditioner, and I started getting itchy on my other eye, and then it migrated up here, and yeah, it was really bad. So I knew I wanted to try something different that didn't have chemicals in it. So I did a lot of research about henna, and I finally made the decision and went ahead and bought some. And I didn't buy just pure henna, I bought cassia and henna. Cassia is like a natural henna, so it doesn't have a color to it, so you can just use it on your regular brunette hair, and it just kind of conditions it and gives it nice shine. But once you put lemon or some sort of acidic solution with it, it then activates the golden pigment within cassia. I added 50% cassia and 50% henna together so that the color wouldn't be almost like a purpley red. I didn't want it too deep.
Yeah, and that's great. So when you want to color your hair with henna and you want it to be either more coppery or not as dark, first of all, when it comes to darkness, you don't want to use Indian henna powders. Any henna from India tends to go pretty dark, like burgundy, purpley. It kind of, except for red rash, it's a pretty classic red, but you want to cut it with cassia. But if, what I recommend, it's easier to get this tone is Moroccan henna or Jamila henna powder, for this type of coppery type of tone with some cassia involved in it. Even 50-50 is really a great recipe for sure.
But I must say, it is very bright, so I'm hoping that it's going to calm down. So the first day for henna is always the brightest, and then over the next couple of days it settles into the color that it's meant to be. So this is what my hair looked like before using the henna. So I just have chemical dyes in my hair at this point. My regrowth is pretty bad, so I'd used box dyes, and I had a hair lightener in there and also a red dye which had pretty much completely faded by this point. I made sure to go ahead and do a test strand of the henna before actually committing to my whole head. I purchased pure henna and pure cassia from a little online shop in Australia. And because I thoroughly did my research on henna, I knew that it wasn't going to react with the chemical dyes since it was a pure henna. And if it's not pure, it can react with the ammonia in hair dyes.
And that's facts. Some of you have been using chemical dyes and are really concerned with will henna react with the chemical dyes? And a lot of hairdressers, stylists, colorists that are trained in chemicals, this is what they learn about, because they learn about the bad henna, the one that has a lot of metallic salts and additives and compound henna and these blends, which usually have other ingredients in it, even PPD and just a lot of other garbage ingredients, that those will conflict with chemical dyes. But if you're using pure henna powder, like what we got at Hennasooq, then you can easily use henna, even for strengthening. Even if your focus is not even coloring, it just basically is going to give you overall healthy hair, and you can still even color your hair at the same time as using henna products, going with the dyes and using henna and then having no issues with the products from Hennasooq, along with other treatments that you do that might be chemically based.
I emptied the contents of the henna and the cassia into a glass bowl. You can also put it in a wooden bowl, as long as it's not metal, because we later add an acidic solution into the henna, and then that can actually tarnish the metal. So I just mixed my powders together with a wooden spoon before adding in apple cider vinegar, or you can add lemon juice as well. I also made some chamomile tea to add into the mixture. I was careful with adding the liquid. I didn't want to add too much at once because I knew if I made it too runny, it would pretty much just slide straight off my head. So I wanted it to be the perfect consistency, and because I didn't have any extra henna powder on hand.
I feel like she definitely watched some videos beforehand, like to know like to add your liquid a little bit at a time, because if you don't have extra powder on hand, you know, you can't thicken it up if it gets too runny. So perfect.
The henna was still really thick and it was gloopy and it smelled like hay.
Oh, gross.
I kept adding in liquid little bit by little bit until it was just the right consistency, and then I covered the bowl up with plastic and sat it in a warm spot in the sunroom to develop for 6 hours. So in the meantime, before I went about my day, I showered so that I had freshly shampooed hair.
6 hours later.
I had fully prepared everything. I had newspapered pretty much every surface in the box.
She really used a lot of newspaper. Good for her. Good for her. Usually, like, if you're like careful with the application, you probably don't have to do this. But if you have dark towels, that might be easier too, because I just wonder how she propped it. I guess she like tucked in all the newspaper and stuff. But yeah, whatever works best for you. But be careful in your application for sure, because it's easy to like splash, you know, as you're applying, you know, but typically it doesn't stain. You wipe it up really well. The surfaces that stain really easily are gonna be like sometimes the grout and then wood or anything porous, you know, but typically you can wipe that up. Like for me, when I'm at home doing my own hair, and I always do it in my bathroom because I like having a mirror there as well so I can see like what I'm doing. I don't typically, you know, cover everything up, but I do make sure to have lots of paper towel on hand, and I have a mat down on the floor for sure. I have like a towel like type thing. And then from there, I just wipe up anything really quick so it doesn't stain, you know, so that's what I do.
I'd watched some videos of people dyeing with henna and it looked pretty messy, so I wanted to be prepared. So with my freshly washed damp hair, I was ready to dye.
And I just want to do a side note here, if you don't happen to like the hay-like smell of henna, just add essential oils to your recipe. It's so easy to add just a few drops, and tons of essential oils, like the essential oils for hair that we have at Hennasooq, are very beneficial for your hair. So you're getting the benefits of those oils and you're getting the really good scent from that, and it leaves your hair smelling really nice.
It was the funniest sensation brushing this into my head. It was cold and wet and lumpy, and it looked like poo. Well, let me just get this straight. Not normal poo. Green poo. Like bird poo. And so I did my roots, and then I would just section it off and do my next layer of roots until I did my whole head before I then moved on to doing the lengths of my hair. So once I'd smushed all the green henna onto my head, I could pretty much just pat it straight against my head without needing any sort of clips or anything. I put a shower cap on to keep it all neat, and then I wrapped my head in a towel to keep that warmth on top of my head so that the dye would work. And then you can leave the henna on your hair for 2 to 6 hours.
1 eternity later.
I think it came out gorgeous. It's really pretty actually. I really like the way it came out. And her hair looks really full and has a lot of body and bounce and pop.
I try alternative health and beauty stuff so you don't have to. Today I'm trying black henna hair dye. I just ordered this black henna hair dye online. I can't vouch for the brand or anything. It just had reasonable reviews, and it came in 2 packets of powder. They're pretty green, and they turned into this kind of black consistency when mixed with water. Here's the ingredient list on the side. I have been dyeing my hair black for 10 years or something, and this is about 2 inches of my natural hair grow out on the top. Just so everybody knows, I have no intention of lifting my hair anytime soon, and shout out to my hairstylist, I will not make you color correct this if anything goes horribly wrong. I just applied it just like regular hair dye. It was pretty thick and gritty, and then I let it sit pretty heavily applied for 1 hour is what they recommended on the box. I just watched a TV show or
Yeah, when it's not like really triple sifted, like the indigo and the henna that we have here at Hennasooq, it can be kind of gritty because it's not really like a requirement per se like other brands to offer. You know, that's what makes Hennasooq unique. We make sure that everything that we offer you guys is very creamy and smooth because we want to be able to wash it out really easily. And also I wanted to say, like, I would err on the like cautious kind of side when it says like just leave it for an hour. It may, I mean, I didn't really catch ingredients someone up, but just all the ingredients should be listed, and definitely indigo is what makes your hair black. And you will also want to be wary of things like this that are like really fast because it probably has chemicals in it. So it may not even be, you might not even be doing like a natural method of coloring your hair at the end of the day. So using really good henna and indigo really like does matter, because if you're just settling for what's, say, you know, generic brands that have like blends and colors, because henna naturally is not even black, first of all, so it's not clearly labeling what it is. It's kind of saying that henna gives you all these colors, and a lot of people get confused by that because henna's, as a plant-based like herb, it's a plant that dyes naturally. You're not going to get these different ranges of colors, but it makes you think like henna has all these offerings, like, so it just is, I think it's just confusing. And that's why at Hennasooq we want you all to know exactly what's in like the hair dyes you're using, the products, you know, everything. We just want you to be aware and think about those things. Maybe they're not as important to you, but if you follow us here right here at Hennasooq, and you're watching this, you may want to reconsider, like, am I really doing like the best henna alternative to color my hair naturally with, really? Or am I just still settling, like I'm just using something that's just as bad as hair dye? You know, that's the question. Like, my understanding would be to presume that you're using henna because you want to use a natural way to color your hair. But if you're just using henna that's like a blend and has PPD and other ingredients that are not good for you, what is almost the point? It's like you may have well stayed with chemicals if you're not doing anything really tremendously different. You know, I just want to put it out there so you guys can think about that, because I just, you know, I have this YouTube channel, you know, so you guys can think about what works for you. You know, I want you guys to have all the information, you know, like knowledge from me and you know, my professional opinions, and giving those to you so you guys can kind of decide, like, and think, you know, have an open mind to think about, like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me, or maybe I don't really care too much, but at least you're thinking about it, you know, and we're having a conversation about it, you know. So I just want you to have those options, to be open to what works best for you, and know that no matter what it is, Hennasooq always supports you where you're at.
so. It got pretty dark, and this is it the next day. I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous.
That video just cut really fast, so I couldn't really end it too well. Henna on the lips.
Forget your lip tint, because apparently people are using henna for their lips now. Henna has actually been around for thousands of years and is traditionally used for beautiful body art, but can actually be used in a lot of different ways. I have a tube right here that I use all the time for fake freckles, but today we're gonna use it as a lip stain. I'm gonna do a brief squeeze just to make sure that it's coming out. There we go. Let's put it on the lips. We're gonna do a slight overline. Oh, my lips are tingling. Uh-oh.
What I would recommend is that it's coming out okay, but it's coming out a little slowly. So you can, if that ever happens when you're using henna cones, just cut the tip with very good scissors, like, and sharp scissors, you know, that's what I mean. And then make the hole slightly bigger, and it's gonna help you like flow out your line. And you can do the line and put a little bit in the middle, and even like pat it. Like if you had like a lip brush, that might be even easier too. Like, so if you want, rather than using the cone because it's not very, it can apply well, and I've done it before, it can work. But if you have a brush, it can kind of be a little bit easier to just, you know, like fix the middle up basically. I would say that would probably be the best way to do it. And you know what, I'm gonna do updated video because I have done henna on lips before. I didn't know I was gonna be doing it. It just happened randomly. So I did it with a henna cone, but now, you know, when you have experience, you know, you kind of like, I'll just use a brush and kind of spread it along the lips, you know. And I wanted to say that he is using a chemical-based henna. It's not natural henna, so his lips are tingling already. He just literally put on like a couple of lines, like they just, you know, applied a couple of lines like real quick, right? So it basically shouldn't be tingling. That's a sign that it's chemicals, because that's what happens when you use it for like henna body art. Yeah, I don't mess with that stuff. Like, no. And it's very inexpensive to buy natural henna cones from a professional henna artist like myself right at hennasooq.com.
Oh my god, my lips are literally burning right now. Ugh. I'm gonna be really careful to not taste it.
20 minutes later.
And you're putting it near your mouth where you could probably ingest some of it, and it's chemicals and it's burning. Guys, don't do that. Like, you know, super cute, love it, but you could use natural henna. Like, it's so easy and it's super inexpensive, and you're putting money back into the pockets of actual real artists.
It's been about 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and pick this off. I mean, did it work? Yes, the whole point of henna is to stain your skin, and we definitely have a very orange lip stain going on right here. I'm not really a big fan of like orangey lips on myself personally. I will say, I think that this would look beautiful on medium to deep skin tones, but for my skin tone, it's gonna be a no for me.
I think it looks gorgeous. I don't know about you guys, but maybe it's the lighting and we can't see just how orange it is. I love it. I love the way that it came out. Again, though, use natural henna because, you know, we don't want the burning, we don't want the chemicals, we don't want to put you at risk. It's already like almost in your mouth. So yeah, you definitely want to do that. And what you could do is you could wet, take a dry and a wet paper towel and kind of like dab it off. Because when you flake it off kind of with your hands like that, you will get a stain on your hands. You know, so I mean, if you're okay with that, you don't care, then that's fine. But you want to like take it off with minimal staining if that's your preference, you know. Now that you've come on this henna adventure with me, are there any other videos that you want to see me react to? Please post them in the comments below. Let me know about them. I would love to see them and give my reaction to them, and we could talk and have discussions about them. Any questions came up, please post it down below as well. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and that bell to be notified about all the great videos and contents that we have coming out. And know that our YouTube community page, you guys get VIP Henna Bay access to all the latest like deals, promotions, new products, and free gifts. So I'll see you next time.